Do you ever think about how a butterfly actually becomes a butterfly? It's not just a caterpillar that rearranges itself into a butterfly, like a tinker toy swapping parts. It literally dissolves itself into ooze inside the cocoon. It needs to do that to be transformed into something new. The same thing happens when you build muscle. You don't just grow stronger. First, first your muscles actually tear. They tear, and then your body builds them back bigger, stronger, more powerful. We don't talk enough about the pain that's involved in mental, emotional, and consciousness growth. If you are working to change your life, your mindset, your habits, your energy, your relationships, and you feel like everything is falling apart, you feel more unstable, more emotional, that is because you are mush in the cocoon. So today we're talking about why real transformation has to feel uncomfortable before it feels amazing, and how to push through, hang in the saddle instead of turning back. Hey there, I'm Sass, and this is Practice Your Positive Daily. If you are in a season of change, whether it's your career, your health, your relationships, or maybe just how you show up in the world, you might be feeling, I know I do, some serious discomfort right now. Maybe even grief, loneliness. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It actually means you're doing it right. Let's talk about the science of why change feels so hard, the emotional roller coaster that comes with it, and most importantly, how to not quit when you're right on the edge of a breakthrough. All right, we're going to have 3 points today. Point number 1 is that your brain hates change. Your brain is designed to keep you in a familiar pattern, right? This is homeostasis. I don't care if that pattern is good or bad, it's predictable. When you start making changes, whether it's exercising or thinking more positively or setting boundaries or going after a goal, whatever, your brain literally freaks out and it tries everything it can to pull you back into your comfort zone. Have you ever started working out after months? That first session makes you feel like you never had any muscles to begin with. That first run, it makes you feel like you've never ran before. And it's the same with mindset shifts. At first, gratitude feels fake. Positivity feels forced. Saying no makes you want to throw up. But that discomfort is a sign that your brain is rewiring. The more you repeat those new actions, the easier they get. This is all about practicing your positive. It's a daily practice, and that will become your new normal. All right, point number 2, emotional growth feels just as awkward as physical growth. If you haven't allowed yourself to feel deeply for a long time, emotions will flood you when you finally do. I think about this as that faucet that's been turned shut for a long time, building up pressure. We open that faucet and it all pours out, right? Studies show that these suppressed emotions don't go anywhere. They don't just disappear. They get stored in the body. That's why people cry in yoga class, or that's why when you start therapy, you actually feel a lot worse before you feel better. Even happiness and hope can feel painful if you're not used to them. It's like stretching a muscle. It's going to hurt before it feels better. I'll share that I didn't cry for years. Maybe once or twice here or there, I'd have a breakdown and just cry at the overwhelming dislike of my life. And then once I healed my trauma and reset my nervous system, girl, I cry all the time. I cry at happy stuff. I cry at sad stuff. I cry when I'm proud of my daughter. It's gotten so that my daughter will turn to me and say, dude, don't cry. And she knows that it's not always sadness, but it's that release. It's a release of all those feelings that I didn't allow myself to feel for all those years. And yes, it's awkward. And yes, it gets easier. All right. And number 3, the dip before the breakthrough. There's always a moment when you want to quit, when you are 3/4 of the way on your run, when you're on your third of fourth sets, when you're doing the deep journal work and then you just want to go home and do something else. There's always going to be a moment where you want to quit. Seth Godin calls this the dip, the point where things get way harder before they get better. This is when you backslide, you scroll instead of create, you go back to comfort, you tell yourselves, actually, I don't want this. Maybe this can't happen. I don't think I'm that kind of a person. But this is the moment you must hang in the saddle. You must stick with it exactly at this point, exactly at this dip, because you're in the cocoon. You did it. You did the hard work to build that cocoon, to start that change around you. You're in the breakdown. Muscle fibers are tearing. Your mind is tearing to be built back stronger. Remember, butterflies melt before they fly. All right, this is a good one. I felt this one. To recap, change is uncomfortable. It has to be. Your brain is literally rewiring itself. Emotions that have been shut down for a long time might feel like a flood. That is normal and actually healing. And lastly, right before that breakthrough, you're going to want to quit. I did an episode on resistance a few episodes ago. Check that one out. The resistance is going to drag you down. That exact moment is the time to keep going. That's a sign to keep going. Ooh, all right. Love the butterfly analogy. Let me know if that works with you. So if you are here to change your life, if you are in that messy middle where you're not quite the new person and you're not quite the old person yet, you're mush, it's harder than you thought, progress doesn't feel fast enough, and the old habits are so tempting, know this: you are not failing. You are transforming. This is the path. And the only way out of it is through it. And oh, terrible spoiler alert, butterflies only have to transform once. Us humans, we might do this 3 or 4 times. So buckle up if you've done it before. You know you can do it again. I love you. I love this for us. Listen, keep practicing your positive. Go team positive, and I will see you at practice.